Hey guys, I am the Comics Kid 2099, and I am here for a sort of mini update, if you will. I didn't want this to be a full-blown video, because it's honestly not that important to make an entire video of it, but I did want to bring this to the attention of the few people who might be wondering about this. Over the weekend, I was not anywhere near a computer or not near enough to be uploading videos. So I was using the scheduled upload feature on YouTube to plan out all of the videos for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday just in case, because over the weekend I was helping my sister move into her new apartment, and we were at a place where I was not going to be able to easily upload videos, so I just wanted to do it all ahead of time. And if you have been keeping up with my 30 days of X-Men Evolution challenge thing that I've been doing, you might have noticed that the videos kind of uploaded in a weird order. It went 6, 7, 9, 8, I think, or 6, 9, 7, 8. It went in an order that was very strange. I just wanted to let anyone who has been watching those know I do know how to count to 10. I am very aware that those uploaded out of order. The thing that happened was, on the scheduled uploads, you have to check which time you want it to upload. So if you are uploading the video at 4:30 in the afternoon, but you want the video to upload at 8 a.m., you have to go in and manually click 8 a.m. because it will upload it at 4:30 the following day unless you go in and change it. And that is what I did not do. I had about 6 videos that I was doing the scheduled upload for, and so that is basically what happened. I just, on one video, X-Men Evolution Day 9, I forgot to check which time it was going to be uploading. I think I forgot the day also. So those uploaded out of order. However, you can still watch them all. At the end of June, there's still going to be 30 X-Men Evolution days. It's just that on June 9th, which is when I'm filming this video, there will not be an X-Men Evolution video go up, but there will still be 30 X-Men Evolution days. So that is why that happened. This is all very new for me. I'm still relatively new to YouTube. I've only been doing videos since October of 2012, and the scheduled upload feature is especially new for me. I've been using it for a couple of weeks, maybe close to a month now, but this was the first time that I was actually using it, and I was not going to be able to do it the traditional way. Because before this weekend, I was using it, but I could have been just doing it the normal way. So now I will know if I'm ever going to use the scheduled upload feature that I will just look and double check, okay, that's the time that it needs to be going up and that's the day. What am I making this video for if this is not an update video? Well, while we were away, you see, we were moving my sister into a city that is about 3-ish hours away from here. There were 2 comic book shops, and after we were done moving her in, we had built the bed, built the futon, all of that, we went to both of the comic book shops, or rather I did, and I bought a few things. And I know I did a haul video about a week ago. Our family had gone shopping about a week ago, and I got several different things then. And so I know it hasn't been that long since I did another big haul video, but I got a few things, and I wanted to show you guys because otherwise I really wouldn't be having a video go up, because after being gone for 2 days, I was quite tired, a little sore from carrying up a lot of boxes and stuff, so I didn't want to just go straight into making a whole bunch of videos to put out for this week. So I wanted to make a little bit of something that would be very easy for me to film and upload, and I wouldn't have to put a lot of effort into this video. So now my dirty secret is revealed, and now you guys can see what all I got. The first thing, also, for this haul video, usually I will film them on my bed and you won't see my face, but since I'm already doing the update face-to-face, as it were, you can just go ahead and see me talking about each thing I got. The first thing I will show you, this is issue 50 of Volume 4 of the Legion of Superheroes. If you saw my previous haul video, you know that I have been trying to get all of the missing issues from the solo run of the Beer Bombs. I don't quite know if I'm saying that right. It's a husband and wife team. They wrote the Legion of Superheroes for about 10-ish issues, and they also co-wrote the book with Keith Giffen before that. And I now have every issue of Keith Giffen's run with the Beer Bombs and every issue of their solo run after that. I'll go ahead and tell you this. Tentatively, I am planning to do something where I review Keith Giffen's run on the Legion of Superheroes. I have every issue of his run. It's a very dense run. I read the first 8 or so issues a few years ago. It was really hard for me to understand what was going on. I like to think now I'm a little more, I guess I could say I've honed my reviewing skills a little bit. I would hope that if I tried to read the run now, it would make a little more sense to me. And I would love to just talk in depth about his run issue by issue. And if I did that, I could just go ahead and go on up to issue 50 where the Beer Bombs run ends. I don't know if that's something I want to do. That's just something I'm thinking about. If I do it, it will be a very long time down the road. I've still got the 30-day X-Men Evolution Challenge going on, and I don't want to try to do something and then get halfway through it and then not be able to finish it or whatever. So we'll see if that becomes a thing. But yeah, I'm no longer missing any of those issues. I don't expect to be buying anything beyond issue 50. I know Volume 4 lasted over 100 issues, but I don't really plan to buy anything else beyond this one because that's a lot of issues, and I just don't think I could realistically fill all of those holes unless I went online. And sometimes going online can be even more expensive than just doing it and paying like several bucks for an issue. This one I paid $2 for. I mentioned in my previous haul video, I think that the issue 50, I had seen this issue at another store and it was like $4. Didn't want to pay $4 for it. This was only $2, so that was great. I think I'm pretty much done buying Legion back issues. So I'm done buying single issues now. I more or less don't buy single issues anyway. Just these 3 or 4 issues of Legion of Superheroes that I bought recently, pretty much the exception to the rule, and that's that. The next thing I bought, X-Statix, Good Omens. Yes, this is from Peter Milligan and Mike Allred. This series, well, first of all, they started on X-Force, and their run on X-Force is collected over 2 trade paperbacks, and then that series ended, and they started a new series called X-Statix. It lasted, I believe, 5 volumes collect their run, and then there was a mini-series called X-Statix Presents Dead Girl, or Dead Girl Presents X-Statix, something like that. I have read all of the X-Statix series. I have not read Dead Girl Presents, and I will say it's probably not for everybody. I personally really enjoyed this series. There's a lot of farce in it. It's very comical, but the characters at times are very serious. They feel like very real people. It's not just a, woohoo, we're being nutty and funny. It's a very comical series about characters that feel very real, and that's the best way I can describe it. I don't know if you can find these very easily. Every time I've looked for this series in trades online, they usually are kind of expensive and kind of hard to find. A little bit more expensive than you would want to pay for a series that ended something like 10 years ago. I think this is a very enjoyable series. I've read it in single issues, and then I saw this, and this trade was, I think, $11. Not a bad deal. So if you see this series, you have my recommendation. I would suggest checking out X-Statix and X-Force. It will have a very similar art style. I don't remember what the 2 X-Force trades were that immediately preceded this one, but it's all basically just one single run spread out over X-Force, and then X-Statix was the sequel series. I've read this before, but it's been a little while, but I'm looking forward to reading it again. I also got Detective 27. This is an Elseworlds. It's basically kind of a more pulpy look at Batman. It's set in the 30s, I believe. It's got that sort of Humphrey Bogart feeling to it. It's like, you know, the black and white detective story. I don't know if it's black and white because it's in plastic wrap and I haven't opened it yet. But I was always under the impression that this was one of those really short Elseworlds stories. I recently got Scar of the Bat, which was another one like that. It was a very short Elseworlds, like 60 pages, and that's why I've always hesitated to buy it online, because I would see it for like $10 and I would think, well, I don't know how long that is. Like, if it's a very short story, I don't want to pay what would be 10 to 15 bucks for it and then only get a very, very short story. I wouldn't feel like I'd get my money's worth. This was $12-ish, and it looks like it's a regular-ish size trade. So I thought, you know what, that's not a bad deal to get here. And also, I just wasn't really sure what all to get at that one particular store. Almost every graphic novel store that I go to, or rather every comic book store, will have a bargain bin of graphic novels, or at least a discounted shelf. This one store did not. They did not have them anywhere in a store that I could find. Everything was just regular price, which is okay. A store is not obligated to have things on sale. But I will say I am more likely to buy stuff if it's discounted. That may make me sound cheap, and if it does, oh well. So I had to curb my impulses. There were several things there I would have bought, but they were full price, and it's like, well, I can't just spend all my money here. I'd like to just buy a couple of things here since I'm not getting them on sale. So this book was one of the cheaper ones there, so I went ahead and got it because I like Batman and I like Elseworlds. So this one hopefully will be very enjoyable. And then the final book that I got at that store, Animal Man, Volume 4. This is called Born to be Wild. Now, I don't know if you have seen these in any of my graphic novel collection videos, but I actually have the 3-volume series of Animal Man by Grant Morrison. This was a series that was very late 80s, very early 90s, kind of right around the time that the Invasion storyline was going on, because I believe it was around issue 6 or 7 of Animal Man when Invasion was happening. And I really enjoyed that series. It has been a very long time since I read it from beginning to end, but that whole run by Grant Morrison, I really enjoyed it. Grant Morrison from the 80s is, in my humble opinion, Grant Morrison at his highest. I really liked that run. The problem I have always had was that after Grant Morrison's run, there was another 50 or so issues of Animal Man written by other creators that DC Comics was basically ignoring. They were saying, well, if it's not Grant Morrison, it's not worth collecting. You can see that at work also on his Doom Patrol run. He did 6 volumes of Doom Patrol, and then he left that series. Another author picked up the book, I don't remember who it was, and those issues are not collected. Now, we're seeing that Animal Man Volume 4 is being collected. This is written by Peter Milligan, who also wrote that X-Statix book that I have. And I wanted to pick this up before it went out of print, before DC decides that they've changed their mind and they don't want to print this or whatever. I wanted to get this. It's very thick. I don't even know if any of the Morrison volumes are this thick. I don't think Peter Milligan was on this book very long. I will say, if you have not read Grant Morrison's Animal Man, that series, the way his run ended, is very much more than any other series he has worked on. It was very hard to follow up on. I'm not a writer, and I didn't write Animal Man, obviously, but I can tell you right now that that series, the way Grant Morrison ended his run, would be very hard to be the writer to write the next issue. And from what I've heard, Peter Milligan, he did some really interesting things, but he also kind of had trouble with the idea of what to do next. And that could be a big reason why DC has kind of been hesitant to pick up future volumes of this series. I hope that they keep going. I would love to see more. I've heard that Jamie Delano's run on Animal Man was just superb, and as far as I can tell, I have the New 52 to thank for this, because Animal Man, as far as I know, is still going on in the New 52, and although I haven't been especially gung-ho about all of the New 52 stuff, I've read a few books here and there, and I've reviewed them on this channel, I haven't been especially excited about anything I've read. if the New 52's Animal Man and the popularity of that series is to thank for this being printed, then I will, eat my words, if you will. I'm not going to say that the New 52 stuff is necessarily good, because I still feel that a lot of it is really not. But I am very happy to get this volume of Animal Man, and I look forward to reading it. Got 2 more books. Both of these were at the other store I went to. And this store, the guy there was very nice. Very nice guy. The store did not have a whole lot, though. It was mostly single issues. There was one spinner rack of $5 trades. And like I said, I'm much more likely to buy books that are on sale than I am books that are full priced or higher than cover price. And there were several books there. Most of them didn't look very interesting to me. A few of them were things I already had. But most of them were either more expensive than I would have wanted to have paid, or they just weren't that interesting looking. I did get 2 things, and I wanted to get some stuff because this guy was a really nice guy. And one of the things I got was X-Men, the Mountjoy Crisis. Not the coming. The Mountjoy Crisis. This is a Bishop miniseries from like 94, I think. As you probably know, I am a huge X-Men fan, and I was always under the impression that the Mountjoy Crisis was actually just a collection of the first Bishop storyline from the X-Men main series. And I was wrong. This was actually a miniseries written by John Ostrander. Where's his name? His name's not on the cover. Wait, yeah. Written by John Ostrander. I recently finished reading the DC Comics book Legends. I think I had gotten that in my previous haul video. That was also written by Ostrander, and I'm finding that he is a pretty good writer. He's very underrated, because not a whole lot of people talk about the stuff that he's written. And usually, stuff from the 90s, specifically X-Men stuff, not very good. Most of the time I will read something X-Men from the 90s. For example, Brood Trouble in the Big Easy. I recently, well, when I say recently, it's been about a month, I did a review of that book, and it was just awful. The book, not the review. I hope the review is good. And that's usually my thoughts on just X-Men stuff from the 90s as a whole. This, while it's not going to set minds on fire, this is a pretty solid read. It is not bad. I'm about halfway done with it so far. I'll be reading it a little more later this afternoon. And I was happy to find this, and for $5, because I think this goes for a little more online, especially for something that's barely cracks 100 pages. You don't want to pay a whole lot for it. At least I don't. Maybe everyone else is different than I am. I'm very stingy when it comes to certain things. But this, I've been enjoying it, and it's another book from the 90s that I can put on my X-Men shelf, because even though my opinion of X-Men stuff from the 90s is not very high, I do try to get the stuff so that I can kind of expand my X-Men collection. If you saw my X-Men collection video from, well, it was close to the very beginning of when I started doing videos back in October, you'll know that I didn't have a whole lot of X-Men stuff from the 90s, and I still don't compared to all the other decades. So this, one of the things I got, so far, very enjoyable. The other thing I got is a graphic novel adaptation of the movie Beowulf. This is based on that movie from 2007, 2008, the one directed by Robert Zemeckis. Now, it's been a few years since I saw that movie. I enjoyed it okay when I saw it. I had a few qualms about it, but also some of the things I did not like, I understood why they did it. This is going to be based on it, I think, and it says Neil Gaiman, but I don't think that Neil Gaiman wrote this. I think, because see, it says based on the screenplay by Neil Gaiman, and I know Neil Gaiman wrote the screenplay for the movie written by Robert Zemeckis. I don't think that this is, this is Chris Ryle and Gabriel Rodriguez. So it tries to trick you a little bit. Fortunately, I only paid $5. I haven't read this yet. I don't know if it's going to be any good or not. I like the story of Beowulf, but I think there are things about it that could be done very well that so far I have not seen been done very well. So we'll see how this goes. That is all that I got on this trip over weekend. I will see you guys a little later this week with hopefully some more better constructed videos, some videos that had a little bit more effort put into them. I will have been fully rested up by the time you see another video from me. So until then, I will catch you guys later with something else. I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope you have a great week. See you then.